when Daniel Mercer stepped off the plane in Reno. He carried nothing heavier than a small suitcase and the quiet hope of forgetting the past year. He was 31, recently divorced and tired of spreadsheets and silence. Reno promised noise, bright, harmless noise, and the glittering arch downtown welcomed him like an old accomplice. His hotel room overlooked the Truckee River, but Daniel spent little time admiring the view. The casinos called to him with their velvet carpets and charming slot machines. That first night, he drifted through the Silver Comet Casino, dazzled by the flashing lights and the steady hum of anticipation. He bought chips for the blackjack table, savoring the smooth weight of them in his palm. "First time in Reno?" the dealer asked, a woman with sharp eyes and a sharper smile. "First time in a long time," Daniel replied. Luck improperly favored him. He won 3 hands in a row, then 5. A small crowd gathered. Strangers clapped him on the back. A man in a tailored gray suit lingered nearby, watching with interest. Daniel felt a surge of confidence he hadn't known in years. By midnight, his modest buy-in had tripled. That was when the man in the gray suit approached him.
"Impressive run,"
he said smoothly.
"Name's Victor. I represent some private games. Higher stakes. More excitement."
Daniel hesitated. He had promised himself he'd keep things reasonable, but the champagne fizzing in his veins and the warm rush of winning dulled his caution. Why not?" he said. Victor led him through a side corridor, past a door marked Authorized Personnel Only, and into a smaller, quieter room thick with cigar smoke. 4 men sat around a felt table. Their expressions were calm, unreadable. The stack of chips in front of them were taller than Daniel's entire winnings. The game began. At first, Daniel held his own. He played conservatively, folding more than he'd bet. But the atmosphere felt different from the main floor, less playful, more predatory. The men spoke in low tones, exchanging glances that Daniel couldn't quite interpret. When he won a sizable pot with a straight, the room went silent. Victor's smile thinned. Then, Daniel made a mistake. A risky bluff. He pushed nearly all his chips forward, heart pounding. One of the men, broad-shouldered with a scar along his jaw, studied him for a long moment before calling. Daniel's hand crumbled under scrutiny. He had nothing. The scarred man revealed a full house. The room exhaled in unison. Daniel felt the blood drain from his face as his winnings vanished across the table.
"That's unfortunate,"
Victor said lightly.
"But perhaps you'd like to continue. We offer credit."
Alarm bells rang faintly in Daniel's mind. "No, I'm done." Victor's hand tightened on his shoulder, not painfully, but not gently either.
"We insist our guests settle properly."
"I don't owe you anything," Daniel said, forcing a laugh. I lost what I had. That's the game." The scarred man stood. He was taller than Daniel had realized. "That wasn't all you had," he said quietly. "You signed a marker when you entered." Daniel's stomach dropped. He remembered now. The quick signature on the tablet. Victor's reassuring nod. Just a formality. "You tricked me." Victor's smile vanished entirely.
"No one tricked you."
2 men moved to block the door. The air felt suddenly thin. Daniel's pulse roared in his ears. He calculated distances. The door, the hallway, the muffled chaos of the main casino floor beyond. He had no idea how far they were from safety. I need air," he said, backing toward the wall. "I'll get the money from my room." Victor exchanged a glance with the scarred man. A subtle nod.
"We'll accompany you,"
Victor said. They ushered him through service corridors instead of the casino floor. The bright noise of the slot machines faded, replaced by the hum of ventilation and the smell of cleaning chemicals. Daniel's mind raced. He had no way to pay whatever sum they claimed he owed, and something told him this wasn't about money alone. As they reached the stairwell, Daniel made his move. He shoved Victor backward and bolted down the stairs, his footsteps echoing wildly, shouts erupting behind him. He burst through a metal door into an alley, cold desert air slapping his face. Neon lights flickered above dumpsters, and puddles reflected garish colors. He ran. Footsteps pounded behind him. A hand grabbed his jacket. He twisted free, fabric tearing. He stumbled over a crate and nearly fell. Ahead, the alley opened into a dim side street. Daniel ran until his lungs felt like they were lined with fire. The first gunshot cracked through the night like splitting wood, echoing off the brick buildings behind him. He didn't look back. He couldn't. The narrow Reno side streets twisted ahead in a maze of neon reflections and shadowed doorways. And somewhere behind him, men shouted in sharp, coordinated bursts. He veered into an alley barely wide enough for a delivery truck, his shoes slapping against wet pavement. A dumpster loomed ahead. Daniel vaulted it clumsily, nearly losing his balance. The metallic smell of rust and garbage filled his nose. Another gunshot rang out. Sparks jumped from a metal fire escape near Daniel's head. He burst out onto a wider street, startling a couple who froze under the glow of a casino marquee. Daniel dashed across the road as a black sedan roared around the corner, engine snarling. Its headlights swept over him like searchlights. He dove behind a parked car, just as the sedan screeched to a halt. Doors flew open. Dark figures spilled out. 3, maybe 4 men. Long coats. Hard expressions. Guns glinting under the streetlights. "Run!" one of them barked. He didn't need to be told twice. Daniel ran toward the Riverwalk. The distant sound of music and laughter from the casinos felt surreal, like it belonged to another world entirely. He raced down a set of concrete steps, nearly slipping. He ducked behind a row of thick bushes near the riverbank, crouching low. The water moved steadily, indifferent to his panic. For a moment, there was only the rush of the river and the pounding of his heart. Footsteps approached above. Daniel breathed. Flashlights cut through the darkness, beams slicing across the shrubs. One passed inches from his face. "Spread out," a voice ordered. Branches rustled nearby. Daniel bolted from the bushes and sprinted along the river path. He ran hard, arms pumping, desperation lending him speed. The men fired again, warning shots, or maybe not, but the sound ricocheted through the night. A bullet struck the pavement ahead, sending fragments into the air. He turned a blind corner and slammed into a chain-link fence. Dead end. A black SUV screeched around the corner, blocking his path. Daniel froze. The rear door swung open. The scarred man stepped out, calm and deliberate. "Enough games," he said. Panic surged. Then, sirens. At first faint, then growing louder. Red and blue lights flashed at the far end of the street. 2 police cruisers sped toward them, sirens wailing. For a split second, no one moved. Victor swore. The scarred man lunged for Daniel, but Daniel dropped to the pavement, scrambling out of reach as officers leapt from their vehicles. "Police, don't move!" The valley erupted in chaos. The men scattered, but more cruisers arrived, boxing in the SUV. Officers tackled Victor near the dumpsters. The scarred man tried to run, but was intercepted, forced face down against the asphalt. Daniel lay on his back, chest heaving, neon lights spinning overhead. Later, as he stood wrapped in a thin police blanket, watching Victor placed into the back of a cruiser, Daniel felt a strange clarity settle over him. He had come to Reno chasing noise and distraction. Instead, he'd found danger sharp enough to cut through the fog of his life. The officer returned his wallet and phone. You might want to pick up a quieter vacation next time. Daniel managed a genuine smile. Yeah, he said. I think I'm done gambling. The neon lights of Reno still burned bright against the desert sky. They no longer beckoned. As the police cars pulled away with their prisoners, Daniel felt something steadier than luck. A second chance. Arriving just in time.